Hello everyone, I'm Debby De Roover. I'm the Horizon 2020 coordinator for DG GROW. Contrary to what the name suggests, it's not the DG dealing with agriculture, but rather with internal market, industry, entrepreneurship, and SMEs. And I'm also part of the inter-service group that is supporting the scientific advice mechanism, also referred to as the SAM. I would like to thank you very, very much for all your presentations of the last 2 days, because I learned a tremendous lot from you. I'm very thankful for that. And I would like to kickstart with a quote from Vladimir Susha from yesterday, where he said that if the science base is not okay, then the policy based on it is not okay, and that has negative consequences for our citizens. Now, I would like to take you through some key elements that I picked up that I'm taking with me from this conference to avoid just that. The first point is openness, the need to be open, the need also to be very open-minded. And that relates also to the people that we consult. So we need to consult very widely, all of the stakeholders involved, certainly not only the vested interests, but really all the affected parties. Related to that is the need for more flexibility. I heard it mentioned on the side of scientists, that scientists have to be more flexible, but I think that certainly also goes for the policymakers. Then a third point that ensures a lot of enrichment is a multidisciplinary, multi-sectoral approach, which can ensure cross-fertilization of ideas. And I was at a conference a few weeks ago where a colleague from the CERN put it quite nicely. He said, you know, what we need is a large human collider, which puts it together quite well. What I also heard a lot is indeed the need for regular dialogue, regular interaction between scientists and policymakers. And something that I retained from Dorothy yesterday is she said, from the very start, you need to involve the scientists from the problem framing onwards. And you mentioned it in the context of the defining of Horizon 2020 called topics, but I think it can be transposed very easily to also the entire, policy process and the impact assessment process, because that starts with a good problem definition. That has to start with a very clear, complete baseline scenario, and if that is flawed, then everything else based on top of it is flawed. Another point that I picked up from Maya is the need for translation of our messages and a very solid communication, and I fully agree with that, because what are we doing? As scientists, as policymakers, we're trying to find solutions for problems that society is facing. So we should ensure that society buys into what we're doing and understands what we're doing. A last point that I picked up from Sjoerd Hardeman is the need to inform policy. He said, we can inform policymakers on what works and what doesn't work. So please, yes, by all means, targeted and very pragmatic advice that is really super, and it's more useful for policymakers rather than generic abstract advice. And somebody said yesterday, science is not made in isolation, and I think policy should also not be made in isolation. Thank you.